Why would you buy a solar generator when you could just get a real generator for half the cost? Hey guys, Titan Preparedness, welcome back to the channel. Today's video we are discussing solar generators. We're going to be going over a lot of common comments and complaints that I see about the solar generators. We're going to be going over who would benefit from one and who might not benefit from them. We're going to explain what they are and how they would be useful during an emergency situation. Let me explain my background of solar generators. On the table, right here, you have the Rockpals 300 watt. This was my entry into the solar generator market. When I purchased the Rockpals 300 watt, I had two 4,000 watt portable gasoline generators sitting right outside of my building. But yet I still went and bought this. This is the Brenda 500 watt. It is pretty new on the market. It's from a new-ish company, and a lot of people haven't heard from them, but it's a new 500 watt solar generator. Behind me is the Ecoflow Delta 1. I've had the Ecoflow for about a year. And at the time of this recording, I have the Ecoflow Delta Pro coming to me. So at the time of this recording, I have 4 solar generators, 3 of which I paid out of pocket for. Why? Why do I keep buying these when I still have a very useful gasoline generator sitting right outside? That is a great question. We will hopefully answer that by the end of this video. So let's start off with a couple of comments that I see about solar generators. First off is the name, solar generator. These are not generators, okay? My gasoline generator is a generator. You put gas in it, you put oil in it, you start it up, it creates power. It creates electricity. These are not generators. They store electricity and then send that power elsewhere. So the name solar generator, I too have a problem with. But I'm going to call them a solar generator because that's what they are. Most of these products, you plug a solar panel up to, regenerating the batteries, and then having more battery and more power for later use. It is a marketing term. I don't know who came up with it. I don't agree with it, but that's what they are. It is what it is, right? I might not agree with it, but that's what they're called, so that's what I'm going to call them. Another name people use is portable power station, which personally I like that name better, but it's not as catchy, right? And when you're marketing, you want the catchiest term. You want the coolest term. You want something to sound better than what it might actually be. And solar generators sounds a lot better than portable power station. It just doesn't roll off the tongue as well. So the second most common comment that I see about solar generators is that you can build your own for about half the price that you can buy one for. Kind of, right? It doesn't matter if you're Rockpals, if you're Brenda, if you're Ecoflow, if you're 4 Patriots, if you're Jackery, if you're Blue Yeti, if you're some off-name brand that no one's ever heard of. All of these are basically the same. 3 components. A battery. There is a battery inside of this shell. There's a battery inside of this shell. You take all this plastic piecing away and you will find a battery. And that is what holds the electricity. Then you have a charge controller. That charge controller controls the amount of electricity coming from a solar panel. That way you don't burn that battery up. And then the third item is an inverter, basically. That's what all of these are, is basically inverters connected to a battery. So on this one you've got a 120, you've got a 12 volt, you've got some USBs and USB-Cs. This one is the same way. 120, 12 volt USBs, USB-Cs, the Ecoflow is the same way, 4 Patriots, Jackeries, Blue Yetis, you name it, they're all basically the same. Battery plus charge controller plus inverter. That's it. Now can you build that? Yeah, you can build that if you know how. And they're not that hard, right? Personally, I have kind of sort of halfway built a portable power station or solar generator. You see, my kids have a playground. And on that playground, I put the Harbor Freight 100 watt solar panel kit to it. To run the solar panels and the lights after the sun goes down, I needed a battery. So I got my battery, and then I wanted that battery to remain not out in the weather. So I got a box, right? A plastic box, like a little plastic Rubbermaid container. I put the battery in the box. Then that whole kit comes with a charge controller to control the amount of electricity that charges up the battery and comes from the solar panel. So I put that in the box. Then I went down to Harbor Freight and I bought an inverter to run off of that battery. That way it's not just little USBs that I can plug into the charge controller, but instead I can charge up my phone with an actual plug cord. I could run a fan if I wanted to. Lord forbid, if I wanted to, I could take a TV out there and plug it up to my kids' playground. I put that inside of the box. I can take the box that is at my kids' playground and I can bring it in here and set it right here on this table with the others. I can take it and I can take it to the porch. I can take it to my neighbor's house. I can take it to a buddy's house. I can put it in the back of my car. Technically, it is a portable power station. It is a solar generator, and I built it. So why buy when you can build, right? Why buy one of these units when you can go build your own? The same reason you bought your house instead of building it. The same reason you bought your car from a dealership instead of building it from the ground up. Because you might not have the time, the energy, the effort, or the know-how to build that thing. But yet, there's plenty of videos and you can sit and you can watch and do it piece by piece exactly like they do it, but how long is that going to take? How long is it going to take to build that house when you can buy the exact same house right next door for a couple dollars extra? I could have built this Ecoflow Delta, but I bought it instead. Me personally, I want someone there to help me out, right? I'm not electronically knowledgeable, but the Ecoflow, they have customer service that I can talk to. The Rock Pals has a customer service that I can talk to. They also have warranties, so if something messes up on it, I'm not out $1,000. I've got a warranty. I've got customer service. I got people that can help me troubleshoot and fix my problem. And if I'm plugging any of these units up to something valuable in my house, a fridge, a freezer, a TV, my car, I want to make sure that it's not my dumb luck and something that I did wrong in case something goes bad. And so moving on to the largest comment that I see about solar generators. Why buy a solar generator when you can get a real generator for half the price? Why buy a solar generator that only powers 300 watts when you get a 3,000 watt generator for the same price? A lot of people want to compare apples to apples, solar generator versus generator. It's not that, okay? That's like comparing a motorcycle to a Ford F-150. Oh, well, they're both vehicles. You have to register them, you have to put them on insurance, you have to put gasoline in them. They're both the same thing. No, that's apples to oranges comparisons. Yes, they both go forward and backwards, but the reasoning behind those two vehicles are completely different. So gasoline generators have been used for emergency preparedness basically since the day they came out, right? You can look on any preparedness website and they're going to tell you to go out and buy a generator. They're going to tell you to go out and buy gasoline to power up said generator and be good to go when the next hurricane, tornado hits your home. And you can do that, right? If you own your own home, if you own your own land, if you are out in the middle of nowhere, yeah, no problem. Hell, I had 2 of them at one point. But then again, I turned around and I bought this thing. And I liked it so much that I upgraded to this one. And I liked it so much that I upgraded it. And I liked it so much that a company reached out and I said, hell yeah, I'll review it. Because I like them. Because I find them more beneficial. Because the apples to oranges, my gasoline generator will not do what these products will. So who would benefit from a solar generator as opposed to a gasoline generator? You see, these things are absolutely silent. A gasoline generator, there is no quiet mode on it. Even the inverter generators, sure, they're quieter, but you can still hear them running from half a mile away. So if you live in the middle of nowhere and your closest neighbor is 10 miles away, don't worry about it, man. Plug your generator up, you're good to go. But if you live in a subdivision, if you live in an apartment, if your closest neighbor is 10 feet away versus 10 miles away, you might want to be a little bit quieter. You might not want to scream, hey, look at me, I have power, during this power outage, during this disaster. You might not want to be screaming that. With a gasoline generator, you have no choice. When you turn that gasoline generator on, when you turn that actual real generator on, you're letting every single person around you know, hey, I have power. And maybe you have good neighbors, maybe you have nice neighbors, and they'll knock on your door and, hey buddy, you mind plugging up my phone? You mind plugging up my tablet? Can we come over and watch TV for a little bit? Maybe you have nice neighbors. Or maybe you have the drug dealer that lives down the street and he says, old boy's got power, I'm going to go take that generator while he's asleep. Old boy has power and he's never going to know I hit him until he realizes that his lights are off, until he realizes that his fan's off, and now he's in the same boat as everyone else. With a real generator, you let everyone in the surrounding areas know you have something, come and take it. With these, I can turn them on, I can plug things into them, and I can run it all day until I need to throw out some solar panels. Now, I don't know how many people actually know what solar panels are or what they're connected to, but I can have solar panels in my front yard, I can have them in my backyard, and my neighbors are just going to drive on by. They're not going to sit and go, I wonder what that's connected to. I wonder if he's just plugging up his phone or if he's running his entire house off that one solar panel. That's pretty neat. These are great for apartment preppers. These are great for people who want to be quiet. These are great for people who want to do long-term prepping. Gasoline only gets you so far. Gasoline only lasts for so long. Electricity, your solar panels, how long is that going to last? Right? Every day I can recharge these. How many times have you ran your gasoline generator and at the end of the day, the tank be fuller than when you started? 0 times? Yeah, probably. Now with that being said, these are not for everybody. 300, 500, 1.1, 1.2 kW, so 1200 watts. Don't expect to buy a 300 watt generator and expect to power your entire house. Don't expect it to power a fridge, a freezer, anything more than a cell phone and a couple tablets. The 500 watter is the same, right? It's a little bit bigger, but don't expect anything more than a few fans, maybe a TV for a couple hours a day. The Delta, that's 1.1, 1.2 kW, it can power a fridge, it can power a freezer, but by itself, it's only going to run that fridge slash freezer for maybe 12 hours. Maybe 15 if you're lucky. So don't look at solar generators and think, I'm going to get away with buying the cheapest, smallest one I can find and then just buying a couple solar panels to go with it. It doesn't work that way, right? This has a max capacity that it can hold, and it also has a max wattage and amperage that it can run. Don't take this one to the job site and expect to be able to run a table saw that pulls 1800 watts from a 300 watt generator. But it's the same thing as a gas generator. You're not going to buy the tailgater that only has 1000 watts of output and expect to run something that's 3000 watts. Common sense goes a long way. Some people are missing it. When looking at these, you need to decide what is important to you. How long do you expect to run it? How often do you have a nice day? If you don't get a nice day out, would you be good with an extra day or two without recharging it? Then you have to look at the recharging capabilities, right? You can buy this 500 watter, but if you're only buying a 40 watt solar panel to go with it, it's going to take it forever to recharge. So when looking at solar generators, determine that you need one, right? Maybe it's because you want to be more quiet. Maybe it's because you want to be more long-term prepper than a short-term gasoline prepper. Maybe it's because you see the end of electricity is coming and you want to have your own miniature grid in your house. All great reasons. Maybe you just don't want to store up gasoline. Maybe you just don't want to do preventative maintenance. With these, there's no preventative maintenance. The worst thing that could happen is you fry out the system. And as long as, again, you have some common sense, you're good. As long as you're not using cords that are jerry-rigged and taped up together to recharge it, everything should work long-term for a good amount of time. Again, if you live out in the middle of nowhere, your closest neighbor is 10, 20 miles away, you don't care about being quiet, you don't care because you've got 1,000 gallons of gas stocked up and stabilizer in it, you don't care, hey, go right on, right? Stick with your gas, stick with your propane, stick with your diesel. But for those of us who want an alternative and a longer term solution, solar generators are where it's at. Portable power stations are where it's at. I am going to start doing power station reviews, solar generator reviews, and looking more towards alternative forms of electricity, alternative forms of power generation when it comes to emergency disasters. I am not worried about my neighbors knowing that I have power, but I am worried about running out of gas. I am worried about preventative maintenance on my generator. I am worried about having it and then not changing the spark plug, and that be the one thing that makes my fridge and my freezers and my TV obsolete during some sort of storm. With these, I don't have to worry about it. And again, I've got the Ecoflow Delta Pro coming to me. Again, purchased my own money. This is the only one that I did not purchase, but again, it will be an open and honest review when it comes out. So, do you have any other questions about portable power stations / solar generators? Put them down below. If you are interested in purchasing one, send me an email. We can discuss what your power goal options are, how long you plan on being down for when it comes to power outages, and just what your options would be for running a CPAP versus running an entire house. I'm not an expert by any means. I'm no Will Prowse, but I will get back to you, right? And I will give you the knowledge that I have to you and help you make a decision whether you buy from a company that I'm sponsored with or not. If you don't want to buy this and you want to go with the 4 Patriots and waste your money, hey, by all means, go for it, whatever makes you happy. But I'm going to try to give you the best option for the cheapest price for your goals possible. So let me know down below and any other questions you have about portable power stations or solar generators. That's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. T2 out.